These three pigs, you've heard about them, I'm sure. Had their house knocked down. Had to move in with the oldest pig because of this wolf. Well, many of you might be wondering, why'd they have to go meet that wolf in the first place? It's a good question. I figured that out. I talked to one of the three pigs, and I figured out exactly what was going on. It's not what you think. It's simple. They made their dad mad. That's it. Here's how it went. It took kind of a few years to get through the story, but you know how these stories go. One day, the oldest of the three pigs was looking through the freezer. He was a little bit hungry, a little bit curious, and pretty much just bored of being stuck in the house all the time. So he went through the freezer, and today, I think he'd seen it before, but today he noticed a tub of something, but on it his dad had written liver, and he thought for the first time that he saw it, huh, I wonder what frozen liver looks like. And so he opened it up. It wasn't liver, it was ice cream. He realized his dad had written liver on the ice cream tub. Oh, he was happy. Yes. So he started eating some. His dad came home that night, got in the freezer, and he goes, "Ugh, who ate some of my ice cream?" And the pig thought, "Oh, how did he know? Well, I bet he knew. I bet he knew. I know what happened. I left it. I left holes in it." He goes, "Well, this time I'll be careful." Well, his dad had decided on a trick too, and his dad had started to flatten out the ice cream. And so the son, the next time he looked at the frozen liver, whatever you want to call it, his son looked in, the oldest pig looked in, and realized his dad had flattened everything out so it looked like a brand new tub of ice cream. But he did also know that it had been eaten. There was definitely some gone. And so he ate a tiny layer, but he ate a small layer all the way around so that it looked completely smooth, just like his dad had left it. Well, his dad came home and got out the liver and started digging it. And the son watched him, caught him, and he didn't say anything. He was just caught him, saw him, what he was doing, and so he knew he had eaten some. And he went in and he looked, and he could tell that it had been eaten just a little bit. So he went down and went in and got his spoon and took the whole thing down a little bit more, another tiny layer. And just as he was putting it away, his brother caught him. His next little brother. So the second little pig made the big pig, the oldest pig, show him what he was doing. So he showed him how, and he said, be careful, you gotta make sure he eats some, because if you take one and I take one and he takes one, it's gonna go down a lot, and we're gonna be in trouble. Well, the second little pig got caught too, and so he had to show the third little pig the trick. And so this is how one week went. The biggest brother saw that dad had eaten some, and so he took a layer. The second little pig came in and looked and saw, and it looked like his dad had taken a layer, and so he ate some. And the third little pig came in and looked and said, "Oh, it's lower than when I left it. Yes, all right." And so he took a layer. Well, then the first little pig came and looked and said, "Ooh, definitely Dad's had some. Look at how much is missing." So he had another layer. And the same with the second, and the third, and the first, and the second, and the third. That's quite a few layers. And you notice Dad hasn't had any layers yet. I didn't tell you about any of them, except that he came home on the weekend, and he looked in, and he goes, "Ah, who took half my ice cream?" And there was only one answer. It could only have been the little pigs. And they all blamed each other, and so Dad said, "Fine, you can all go out. Get out. You're all old enough, you think you're big enough to eat my ice cream, then get the heck out of my house." And so that's how the three pigs got out on the streets, out into the woods, on that little road where they met the big bad wolf.